My child, do not move from this place. Something extraordinary just happened in the realm you cannot see, and it happened the very second your eyes touched these words. I am not whispering to you gently this time. I am standing before your spirit with a weight in my voice that you have never heard from me before. Because what I carry in this message is too important to deliver quietly. There is a door inside your spirit that has been sealed shut for a very long time. You have walked past it 1,000 times without knowing it was there. You have felt its edges in those strange moments of restlessness that had no explanation. In those nights when sleep would not come. In those sudden waves of emotion that rose without any cause you could name. That sealed door is the reason you are here right now. And by the end of what I am about to say to you today, you will understand what has been locked away on the other side of it. What has been waiting for you. And why heaven itself has orchestrated this exact moment to begin turning the final key. Do not scroll away. Do not tell yourself you will return to this later. I have watched you do that before, and each time, the distance between you and this moment grew wider. Today, I am drawing a line in your spirit and saying enough. You will hear me now. You will stay. And you will receive what has been held for you since before you understood your own name. I want you to understand why my voice sounds different to you right now. It is not anger. It is not disappointment. It is the sound of a messenger who has been patient for so long that patience itself has become an act of war against the forces that want you distracted. Every gentle nudge I placed in your path over these past months, every quiet stirring in your chest during a song you did not expect to move you, every sudden memory that surfaced when you were doing something ordinary, those were all my fingerprints on the handle of that sealed door. I was turning the key 1 degree at a time, preparing the lock for this exact moment. But you did not recognize my hand. You thought it was coincidence. You told yourself it was just emotion, just exhaustion, just your mind playing tricks on a heart that has been stretched too thin for too long. It was me. Every single time, it was me. And today, the key has reached its final position. If you can feel even the smallest stirring in your chest as you read these words, if something inside you recognizes the sound of a lock that has been waiting to turn, type Amen in the comments right now and press the like button as a signal to heaven that your spirit is awake and ready to receive. I can see you wondering whether this is truly different from every other message that has crossed your path. I understand that hesitation. Your heart has been trained by disappointment to approach every promise with suspicion, and I do not condemn that instinct because it was survival. But I need you to notice what your spirit is doing right now. It is not suspicious. It is not pulling back. It is leaning forward. Your mind may be questioning, but your spirit is already reaching for the handle of the sealed door because something inside you recognizes the sound of a lock that has been waiting for this exact moment to surrender its hold. Let me tell you what makes this moment irreplaceable. Heaven operates within windows of convergence. These are not arbitrary. They are calculated with a precision that surpasses anything your human measurement systems could track. Every prayer you have ever spoken, every tear that fell when no one was watching, every sleepless hour you endured wondering if your suffering served any purpose at all. Each one was a coordinate on a map that has been drawing toward this point for longer than you realize. The window is open right now. Not because you forced it open with your faith or your works or your devotion. It opened because the timeline arrived. The same way dawn does not arrive because the rooster crows, but because the earth has completed its turning. This moment did not arrive because of anything you did or failed to do. It arrived because heaven's clock reached the appointed hour. You need to understand something that your mind has been resisting, but your spirit already knows. This is not just another message. This is not another video that sounds spiritual. and then fades from your memory by tomorrow morning. What is happening right now is a convergence. A moment when every thread of your journey, every tear you have cried, every prayer you have whispered into the dark, every wound you thought was pointless, all of it meets in a single point of time. And that point is right here, right now, today. Heaven does not arrange these convergences casually. They are rare, they are precise. They arrive when the heart has been made ready through a specific sequence of breaking and rebuilding that only I can see from where I stand. And your heart, my child, your heart has been through that exact sequence. You may not have understood the purpose behind each season of pain. You may have questioned whether any of it meant anything at all. But I watched every fracture form. I measured every crack. And I can tell you with absolute authority that your heart has been broken in exactly the pattern required to receive what is behind this sealed door. Did not cause your pain. Let me speak that clearly into your spirit so the lie cannot twist my words. I did not author the betrayals, the losses, the sleepless nights, or the quiet devastation that has marked so many of your seasons. But I used every single one of them. I turned each wound into a key groove. I shaped each tear into a notch. I allowed each heartbreak to carve a channel through which something far greater could eventually flow. And now the door that was sealed, the one you have walked past without seeing, the one that has been humming with energy every time you felt that unexplainable restlessness, is about to open. Not because you earned it, not because you prayed the right words in the right order, but because the pattern is complete, the key fits, and today is the appointed time. There is a silence inside you that frightens you more than any noise ever could. I am talking about the silence that settles in when you stop performing long enough to hear the truth of your own condition. It is the silence between heartbeats when something whispers that you are not moving toward anything meaningful. It is the silence that follows a room full of people where you laughed and contributed and said all the expected things, but then drove home feeling emptier than when you arrived. That silence is not your enemy, my child. It is the echo of the sealed door vibrating with what it contains. You interpreted it as emptiness, but it was always fullness, pressing against a barrier, waiting to be released. I have watched you fill that silence with every distraction available to you. Not because you are weak, but because the silence felt unbearable. And you did what any overwhelmed soul would do. You reached for whatever would make the ringing stop. But every distraction was temporary. Every numbing agent wore off. Every activity that promised to fill the void only widened it slightly, because the void was never meant to be filled from the outside. It was meant to be filled by what is behind the sealed door, the original completeness that has been preserved for this moment. My child, I need to speak to you now about the weight you carry when no one is looking. Because the door I am describing did not seal itself. It was sealed by your own hands, by the protective walls your heart built after it could no longer endure the openness that kept getting it hurt. And I do not blame you for building those walls. I watched you build them. I held you while the mortar dried. But now they have become the very barrier between you and the life that is waiting for you. You are exhausted. Not the kind of exhaustion that a full night of rest can repair, but the kind that sits in the marrow of your being, the kind that makes every morning feel like a mountain you're not sure you have the strength to climb. Your body rises. Your face arranges itself into whatever expression the world expects from you that day. Your voice says the words that keep the machinery of your life running. But inside there is a tiredness so deep that it has become the background noise of your entire existence. You have forgotten what it feels like to not be tired. You have forgotten what it feels like to wake up and actually want to meet the day instead of bracing yourself against it. And the worst part is that no one around you truly sees it. They see your competence. They see your reliability. They see the version of you that has learned to perform strength so convincingly that even you sometimes believe the performance. but I see the truth underneath. I see the moments when you are alone and the mask comes off and the real weight of everything you are carrying settles onto your shoulders, like a stone coat you can never remove. I see how you sit in silence, not because you are at peace, but because you are too drained to even form the words for what you are feeling. I see how your prayers have grown shorter, not because your faith has shrunk, but because your heart is so full of unspoken pain that there is barely room left for language. You have been running on nothing, my child. No rest for your spirit, no replenishment for your heart, no safe place where you can be fragile without someone needing you to be strong. The world takes from you constantly. Your family takes. Your responsibilities take. Your own expectations take. And you keep giving because you do not know any other way to exist. But the well is dry, and the sound of scraping the bottom is that hollow ache you feel in your chest at 3 a.m. when the house is quiet, and there is nothing left to distract you from the truth of how depleted you really are. If you recognize yourself in these words, if your spirit just said, yes, that's exactly how I feel, then type these words into the comments right now. Type, I receive my restoration today. Declare it. Let your fingers speak what your mouth has been too tired to say. You have been living in a version of yourself that was assembled from the wreckage of your hardest seasons, and you have mistaken that construction for your identity. Let me dismantle that confusion right now. The person you see when you look in the mirror is not the person I designed. That reflection carries the markings of every battle, every disappointment, every word spoken over you that left a bruise on your sense of self. But beneath that battered exterior, there exists a version of you that was drawn by the hand of heaven before any of those wounds existed. Designed you with a capacity for joy that your current numbness cannot even imagine. I built into your spirit an ability to trust that has been buried under layers of protective scar tissue but has never been destroyed. I wove into the fabric of your identity a purpose so specific that no other soul on this planet could fulfill it. And that purpose has been waiting patiently behind the sealed door while you struggled through seasons that felt purposeless. Every moment you spent wondering why you were here, what you were supposed to do, and whether your existence made any real difference in the tapestry of creation. Every one of those moments was the original design, calling to you through the sealed door, its voice muffled but persistent, trying to remind you that you are far more than the sum of your wounds. And I need you to hear this next truth with every cell of your being, my child. The people who hurt you did not have the power to alter your design. They scratched the surface. They dented the exterior. They left marks that you mistook for permanent damage. But the core of who you are, the blueprint I drew with my own hand, remains absolutely untouched. It is behind the sealed door, whole, complete, radiant, waiting for this exact moment to step forward and reclaim the life that was always meant to be yours. There is something else I need to name, my child, because it has been growing in you like a quiet poison, and you have not recognized it for what it is. You have become invisible to yourself, not invisible to the world. The world sees your function, your contribution, your usefulness. But you have become invisible to you. When you look in the mirror, you see someone who needs to do more, try harder, hold on longer. You do not see someone who deserves tenderness. You do not see someone whose heart is crying out for gentleness. You do not see someone who has earned the right to rest. You have lost the ability to be kind to yourself because every ounce of kindness you possess has been directed outward, toward the people you love, toward the situations that demand your attention, toward the obligations that never stop arriving at the door of your life. And in the process of caring for everything and everyone else, you abandon yourself. Not dramatically, not in a single moment of collapse, but slowly, gradually. the way a river changes its course over decades until the original path is completely dry, and no one can even remember where the water used to flow. That is what happened to your joy, my child. That is what happened to your sense of wonder. That is what happened to the lightness you used to carry in your spirit before life loaded it with burdens that were never meant to be carried by one person alone. You used to dream. You used to feel excitement about the future. You used to have moments of spontaneous happiness that erupted without warning and made you feel like the world was a place of possibility. When did those moments stop? Do you even remember? Or did they disappear so slowly that you never noticed the exact day your inner light dimmed to barely an ember? I noticed. I watched it happen. And I have been waiting, with infinite patience and with an ache in my own spirit that mirrors yours, for this moment when I could reach through the walls you built and touch the part of you that still believes restoration is possible. Because it is possible. What has been dimmed can be rekindled. What has been dried can be refilled. What has been sealed can be opened, and that is precisely what today is about. If these words are reaching the part of you that nothing else has been able to touch, subscribe to Divine Official Channel right now. This is not the last time heaven will speak through this space. By subscribing, you are telling your spirit that you choose to remain in the path of these messages, that you refuse to let this connection become another beautiful thing you once felt and then lost. Subscribe now and let this channel become a permanent doorway in your life. Now, my child, I must go deeper. What I am about to reveal to you is the truth your spirit has been circling for months without being able to name it. And I need your full attention because this is where the sealed door begins to make sense. You have been wondering why nothing has been moving in your life. Why opportunities that seemed certain evaporated at the last moment. Why relationships that looked promising revealed themselves to be hollow. Why prayers that you poured your entire heart into seemed to echo in an empty room. You have been asking me, sometimes in words, sometimes in frustration, sometimes in that wordless ache that rises when hope has been disappointed too many times to trust itself. You have been asking me, why does everything good seem to stop just before it reaches me? And here is the answer. Here is the revelation your spirit has needed. The good things did not stop. They arrived at the door and the door was sealed. Every blessing I sent toward you reached the threshold of your life and found the entrance closed. Not by an enemy outside of you, not by a curse or a generational pattern or a spiritual attack, although the enemy would love for you to believe that because it keeps you fighting shadows instead of facing the real barrier. The door was sealed by you, by the protective walls your wounded heart built to keep pain from entering again. But those same walls, the ones that kept the pain out, also kept the blessings from getting in. This is the revelation that changes everything, my child. So let it settle deep into the soil of your understanding. Your numbness, that flatness you feel where passion used to live, is not a sign that you are broken beyond repair. It is the sound of a heart that sealed every entrance after the last devastating wound and has been living in a self-imposed darkness ever since. You did not choose numbness. You fell into it the way a drowning person stops fighting the current. Not because they want to surrender, but because the energy required to keep swimming simply ran out. Your heart reached its capacity for being hurt, and somewhere in the quiet of a night you do not even remember, it made a decision without consulting you. It sealed the door. And since that sealing, you have been alive but not living, present but not engaged, moving through your days but not arriving anywhere. You have been wondering what is wrong with you, why you cannot feel things the way you used to, why even good news does not penetrate the way it should, why compliments bounce off your surface instead of warming your interior. Nothing is wrong with you. The door is sealed, that is all. And what is sealed can be unsealed, but only by the hand that turned the key in the first place. Not your hand, my child. My hand. because I am the one who used every wound to carve the pattern. And I am the one who knows how to reverse the mechanism without destroying what it was built to protect. Today, I am not asking you to tear down your walls. I would never demand that of a heart that built them to survive. I am asking you to let me place my hand on the door, to let me touch the lock with the same fingers that caught your tears before they hit the ground, and to let me turn it gently with the tenderness of someone who knows exactly how much pressure your spirit can bear. Now that you understand what the sealed door truly is, I need to walk with you through the wounds that created it, not to reopen them, not to make you relive the pain, but because you cannot unseal what you do not understand, and you have been misinterpreting your own wounds for so long that the truth itself has become part of what is locked away. I saw the first crack form in your heart, my child. It happened earlier than you think, before you had the vocabulary to describe what was happening to you, before you understood that what you were experiencing was not normal and was not your fault. There were words spoken over you in your younger years that landed like stones on soft ground, and the impressions they left have shaped the terrain of your entire inner life. Words that told you that your feelings were too much, that your needs were a burden, that your sensitivity was a weakness to be corrected rather than a gift to be nurtured. You absorbed those words into the very foundation of who you were becoming, and they taught you a lie so fundamental that every other wound since then has been built upon it. The lie was this: that who you are naturally, without performance or adjustment, is not enough. That lie became the lens through which you interpreted everything that happened to you afterward. When someone left, the lie whispered, they left because you were not enough. When a relationship failed, the lie confirmed, it failed because something in you is fundamentally flawed. When an opportunity passed you by, the lie nodded and said, of course it did, because you do not deserve the things that other people seem to receive so easily. I watched that lie grow roots in your spirit, and I watched it produce a harvest of self-doubt so thick that it choked out every seed of confidence I tried to plant. If something just shifted inside your chest right now, if you felt a tremor in a place you thought was numb, do not be afraid of it. That is the sound of truth reaching a part of you that the lie has been guarding for years. Stay with that feeling. Let it breathe. The wounds did not stop in your childhood, my child. They followed you into your adult years, and each new wound seemed to confirm what the original lie had already told you. I saw the betrayals that cut you deepest, not the dramatic ones that everyone witnessed. The quiet ones, the ones that happened behind closed doors and inside relationships you thought were safe. The friend who knew your secrets and used them as ammunition. The person you trusted with the tender parts of your story, who handled them carelessly, leaving fingerprints of disrespect on the most sacred chapters of your life. The one who promised to stand beside you and then disappeared at the exact moment when standing beside you became inconvenient. Each betrayal reinforced the sealed door. Every departure taught your heart to close another inch. Every broken promise drove the lock one notch deeper, and the lie sat in the corner of your mind, narrating each loss with the same whispered verdict. You were not enough, and that is why they left. But I am here today to shatter that narration. Their departure was not a verdict on your value. It was a revelation of their capacity. They could not hold the weight of your authenticity. Their exit was me clearing the doorway for what is coming. I watched you blame yourself for outcomes that were never in your control. You replayed conversations, searching for the word you should have said differently. You assigned yourself responsibility for events shaped by forces far beyond your reach. And then you punished yourself with a severity you would never direct at another person. You carried guilt for failures that were actually redirections, and you wore shame for mistakes that were simply the honest attempts of a soul doing its best with limited light. You have been carrying a version of yourself that was built by wounds, my child. A version assembled from the scraps that pain left behind. And you have been living inside that damaged construction for so long that you forgot it is not the real architecture of your soul. You forgot that before the words landed, before the betrayals taught you to hide, before the losses carved their hollows, there was an original design, a blueprint drawn by my own hand, a version of you that was never wounded because it existed before the wounding began. And here is the deepening, my child. Here is the part that your spirit needs to absorb completely, because it holds the key to everything that happens next. The door was not sealed to keep you out. It was sealed to protect the original version of you. The unharmed design, the blueprint that existed before the first wound was inflicted. Your heart, in its desperate wisdom, recognized that the version of you being shaped by trauma was becoming so dominant that it threatened to overwrite the original entirely. And so, your heart did the only thing it knew how to do. It sealed the room where the original design was kept. It locked the door. It hid the key in a pattern of wounds so complex that no enemy could replicate it. What you have been calling numbness is actually guardianship. Your heart was not shutting down. It was standing guard over the most precious thing inside you. The version of you that still knows how to feel fully, trust openly, love without armor, and walk through life with the lightness of someone who has never been told they are not enough. That version of you is not dead. It is not destroyed. It is not gone. It is behind the sealed door, perfectly preserved, waiting for the moment when it would be safe enough to emerge. And today, this exact hour, this precise breath you are drawing right now, is that moment. I am not asking you to go back in time. I am not asking you to pretend the wounds never happened. They happened. They were real. They hurt in ways that words will never fully describe. But I am telling you with the full weight of heaven behind every syllable that those wounds did not define you. They did not rewrite your value. They did not diminish your purpose. They sealed it. They protected it. And now the protection is no longer needed because I am here personally, standing between you and anything that would try to harm the original design as it reemerges into the light of your conscious life. Do you understand? The exhaustion, the numbness, the feeling that something essential is missing. It is all the vibration of a sealed door pressing against a lock that is ready to release. You are not broken. You are sealed. And today, the seal is breaking. If you can feel the lie losing its hold on you right now, if something ancient and suffocating just loosened its grip around your chest, type these words into the comments. Type, I release the lie and step into my true design. Speak it out loud. Let the declaration travel from your fingers into the spiritual realm where it becomes a key that cannot be unturned. My child, let me describe to you what I have seen happening in the invisible realm around your life. Because while you have been focused on the heaviness of your days, something extraordinary has been taking shape in the spiritual architecture of your future. Every tear you cried in private became a drop of oil for the hinge of that sealed door. Every night you lay awake wondering if anything would ever change, loosened the mechanism by one more fraction. Every prayer that felt like it bounced off the ceiling actually traveled farther than any prayer you have ever spoken, because prayers born from genuine desperation carry a frequency that pierces dimensions. Prayers spoken from comfort never reach. I collected every single one. Not metaphorically, not as a poetic image. I gathered them the way a builder gathers materials for a structure that has already been designed, but whose construction depends on specific resources arriving at specific times. Your tears were the oil. Your sleepless nights were the loosening. Your desperate prayers were the frequency that activated the final tumblers in a lock that was never designed to remain sealed forever. It was designed to open at exactly this moment, and the fact that you are still here, still reading, still breathing through the weight of what you are feeling right now, is proof that your spirit recognizes what your mind has not yet accepted. The door is opening today, not tomorrow, not next week, not in some vague future season that requires more preparation, more worthiness, more proof that you have earned the right to receive what has been preserved behind it. Today. Because worthiness was never the requirement. The pattern was the requirement. And the pattern is complete. Every wound is accounted for. Every groove has been carved. Every notch is in place. The key does not need to be modified. It does not need to be polished. It does not need your permission to turn because the mechanism was designed by the same hand that designed your heart. And that hand knows the precise moment when the door can open without shattering what it was built to protect. I can hear the objections forming in your mind right now. You are wondering if this could truly be meant for you, or if it belongs to someone more deserving. You are bracing for the familiar crash where hope rises and then shatters. I know why those defenses exist. I watched the experiences that built them. But I am telling you with the voice that spoke galaxies into form, those defenses are no longer protecting you. They are imprisoning you. What saved your life during the darkest seasons is now the barrier preventing you from entering the season I have prepared. Will not force the door. But I stand here in this moment and tell you with a clarity that leaves no room for the lie. You are safe. What is behind this door was placed by my hand, protected by my authority, timed by my wisdom, and guaranteed by my name. And my name does not fail. Now hear me clearly, my child, because what I am about to say to you is the charge I have been building toward since the first word of this message. I am commanding you to release your grip on the door handle. Take your hands off the lock you have been guarding. Step back from the barrier you have been maintaining between yourself and the life that is waiting on the other side. Today is the day you stop protecting yourself from blessings. Today is the day you stop treating every beautiful possibility as a potential ambush. Today is the day you allow the walls that saved you to fall. Not because they failed you, but because they have completed their purpose, and their continued existence is now the only thing standing between you and the restoration that has been prepared since before you drew your first breath on this earth. I am telling you with the authority of heaven, release. Let go of the control you have been clutching, because that control was never what kept you safe. I am what kept you safe. My hand beneath you when there was no ground. My voice when every sound was chaos. My presence when you were certain you were alone. I was the safety. Not the walls, not the numbness, me. And because I am the safety, everything else can fall. The walls can crumble. The numbness can dissolve. The door can swing wide. I will be standing between you and anything that threatens this emergence. A sword of fire in one hand and infinite gentleness in the other. Do you hear me, my child? Do you feel the ground shaking beneath the foundations of every lie that told you this was impossible? The door is opening right now. In this breath, in this word, in this moment that will never come again in exactly this form. Step forward. Let your heart feel what it has been refusing to feel. Let the tears come if they are coming. Let the trembling happen if your body is trembling. That is not weakness. That is the physical sensation of a sealed chamber in your spirit, cracking open for the first time in years. And now I speak my decree over you, my child. And I speak it with the full weight of heaven, pressing behind every word like a river against a dam that has just been removed. I declare that the sealed door in your spirit is broken open as of this moment and will never be sealed again. I declare that the lie which told you that you were not enough is severed from your identity like a dead branch cut from a living tree. I declare that the original design of your soul, the blueprint drawn before your first wound, is stepping forward out of the sealed room and into the full light of your conscious existence. And nothing, in heaven or on earth or beneath the earth, has the authority to push it back into darkness. I declare that every tear you cried in private has been converted into a river of restoration that is flowing through every dry channel in your life starting today. I declare that the exhaustion that has been your constant companion is being replaced by a strength that does not come from your own reserves, but from the infinite reservoir of heaven that has no bottom and no boundary and no expiration. I declare that the relationships which wounded you have lost their power to define your capacity for love. I declare that the people who left did not take your wholeness with them, because your wholeness was never in their hands to carry. It was behind the sealed door, safe, untouched, complete. And it is yours again as of this very second. I declare that your season of wandering is finished. Your season of confusion is over. Your season of invisible suffering is ended. And the season that is beginning right now, in this breath, in this word, in this moment where my voice and your spirit are finally synchronized in a frequency that the enemy cannot jam or interrupt. This new season carries your name on it. It was built for you. It was timed for you. It was preserved for you through every storm, every detour, every dark night that tried to convince you that morning would never arrive. Morning has arrived, my child. The door is open. Walk through it. My child, as you stand in the threshold of this open door, let me gather everything that has been spoken today into a single breath of truth. You were never broken. You were sealed. You were never forgotten. You were being prepared. You were never alone. I was turning the key with every wound, every tear, every whispered prayer that you thought went unheard. And today, the mechanism is complete. The door stands open, and the original design of your soul is ready to walk forward into the light that has been waiting for it. This is not a possibility. It is a certainty spoken by the mouth of heaven into the marrow of your being. I bless you with the courage to stop guarding what no longer needs guarding. I bless you with the freedom to feel again without the terror of being hurt. I bless you with a clarity so sharp that the lie will have nowhere left to hide in your mind. And I bless you with the unshakable knowledge that what is behind this door, the restoration, the joy, the purpose, the love, is yours, sealed for you, preserved for you, released to you today. Now carry this light forward. Share this message with at least 4 people who have been sealed inside their own pain and do not yet know that the key exists. Send it directly through a text message to someone who has been on your heart all week. Post it in your Facebook group, where others are searching for exactly this truth. Because what unsealed your door has the power to unseal theirs, and your obedience in this moment becomes the mechanism through which heaven reaches them. And for those of you who feel called to stand with this mission, to ensure that messages like this one continue reaching the hearts that heaven is preparing, Archangel Michael invites you to visit our Ko-Fi community through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether you choose to join as a member for ongoing fellowship and deeper connection, or whether you plant a single seed of support through a donation, your presence in this space is not a transaction. It is an act of worship. It is your hand placed on someone else's sealed door, helping to turn the key that heaven has already positioned. Every gift sustains this mission of reaching wounded hearts with the truth that they are not broken. They are sealed, and their time of opening has come. Heavenly Father, I place my hand over the heart of every soul who has received this message today. I ask you to complete what has been started in this moment. Unseal every door that pain has locked. Dissolve every lie that has been masquerading as identity. Restore the original design that you drew before the first wound was ever inflicted. Give them the courage to feel again. Give them the strength to trust again. Give them the vision to see themselves the way you have always seen them, whole, worthy, chosen, and deeply loved. Let every tear they have cried become a testimony. Let every sleepless night become a chapter in the story of their restoration. Let every wound become the very doorway through which your blessings flow into their lives from this day forward and forevermore. I seal this prayer with the authority of heaven. I seal it with love that has no end and power that has no limit. Walk through the door, my child. Your new season is waiting on the other side.